this real quick. So I just heard, I haven't seen the fight yet. Hopefully I get a chance to watch it maybe tonight or tomorrow. But, well, again, this is He's Not Getting Up Gym Boxing Talk. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And share. Yeah, so I just heard about the fight. Josh Taylor, the undisputed 140-pound champ, versus Jack Catterall, the challenger, who was number one ranking with the WBO. So I just got the results. It was a split decision apparently. And me just scrolling through my Facebook and YouTube and everything. And forgive me, I'm driving if there's a lot of background noise. It sounded like there's a lot of complaints about the decisions made by the judges, the scoring, the scorecards, what so have it. A lot of people are calling a robbery. And from the way it sounds, and from just a couple of little highlights that I have watched, it's looking like that is possible. Like I said again, I gotta sit down and actually watch the fight. But what I'm gonna say right now is a lot of people are upset and they're saying that Josh Taylor needs to give Jack Catterall a rematch, like right away. Now, so what I want to say about that, a lot of people might not agree. A lot of people are calling Josh Taylor a fraud if he doesn't give him a rematch, calling him, saying he needs to fight just based off of his own pride. Like, if you're a real one, you need to run it back. But a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of people also saying before the fight how Josh Taylor looked like he was drained in the weigh-in. They were saying, people were saying this out of their own mouth. He didn't look the same. He looked like he looking a little weak. He looking a little drained. Looking a little like he's working too hard to lose weight. So with that being said, him not giving Catterall a rematch at 140 doesn't make it wrong for Josh Taylor necessarily, because if he's not comfortable making the weight, then if he had an issue with the weight cut for this match, and that could have been an issue for him during the fight, then it can't be his fault for him to not give instant rematch. It can't be his fault, because if you can't make a weight at a certain weight and you don't feel that's your best, then why are you going to try to fight there again? I mean, it's kind of just a part of the sport. Sometimes things like that happen, You grow out of a weight. He's 31 years old right now, so he's at a point where he's going to be probably gaining more weight. He's going to probably be getting bigger, getting stronger. A lot of guys around this time, around that age, in their 30s, they tend to move up weight classes. If they're not already at heavyweight, they tend to have to move up around that time, because the body is basically reaching its ending of growing, basically, for a man in the early 30s. That's about the time that your body stops growing. So your body is going to just kind of spread out. You might get an inch taller, maybe. You might be done growing taller, but your body kind of still is just, settling, So it's just one of those things. It's like people are going to be upset if Josh Taylor doesn't run it back with Jack Catterall, but it's not really much that anybody could do about that if he doesn't. It doesn't make Josh Taylor necessarily a fraud. There are all these weird names. I know it was from what it sounded like, it was bad judging. Apparently he was knocked down, which I saw the footage. He got knocked down, so that was a point that should have been taken right there. And apparently it looked like he wasn't very dominant this whole fight. So, I mean, if the judges scored it for Jack Catterall, even though Jack Catterall had the upper hand in the whole fight, from what it sounds like, somebody said that Jack Catterall won every round but one. But you gotta understand, these judges, it's the judges that's in the sport that are the ones to blame, not necessarily the boxers, because at the end of the day, boxers ain't raising their own hand. It's the ref raising the hands of whoever the judges choose. You know, a boxer can get in there and land one punch for a whole fight, but the judges say, hey, and the other fighter does his thing, lands 100 punches. But the judges say, hey, we outscored that guy who landed 100 punches to the guy that landed the one. We got the guy that landed that one punch winning every round. Then guess what? If all three judges agree, or 2 out of 3 of those judges agree, then guess where the money's going to? That one punch hit, that one hitter quitter, that you know, one hit wonder. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of sucks that it's like that, but that's how it is. Because Josh Taylor has been talking about going up in weight anyways since before this fight. He claimed that he didn't have too many issues making the weight, but at the same time, I mean, a lot of people say that after they make the weight, but that could just be another way of saying, look, don't worry about me. I'm about to get in here and fight. I made the weight, and that's all that matters, and blah, blah, blah. So it's going to be interesting. I still think Josh Taylor is a good fighter, but maybe the weight issue was an issue for him where he couldn't perform to his best. A lot of people are saying this is probably one of the worst performances that they've seen out of Josh Taylor. And Josh Taylor is a very good fighter. I really got to really see him after the last couple of years. I started really paying attention to him, especially after he, I forget who he fought before, Regis Prograis. Well, when he fought Regis Prograis, that was a really great fight. It was almost like a throwback type of fight with the way them two dudes was going at it. And that's where I gained my respect for. I already had a lot of respect for Regis, just coming from, you know, Louisiana and everything like that. Him coming from where a lot of my family come from. But now, Regis, just alone, without even that, he's in there. He's a very dominant fighter when he get in the ring. He's toe-to-toe. He's a toe-to-toe kind of fighter. So not too many guys have a guy in front of him and been able to go toe-to-toe, but Josh Taylor did, and that was a great fight. So, you know, that was one of my reasons I started following Josh Taylor, and ever since then he's been pretty impressive. So, I mean, it's easy to say that somebody ain't got it after you see him lose, you know, and that's just a whole nother situation. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna go home when I'm headed home now. Hopefully I get to watch the fight, and see what it looked like. But yeah, anyways, it's he's not getting up, Jim. Boxing Talk. Peace.